How you doing? This is Jeff Brown. So, want to talk to you today a little bit about airsoft training, specifically airsoft pistol. Before we get started, I just want to caution you that before you go out and buy airsoft pistols, you need to be aware of the basic firearm safety rules. They still apply with airsoft and paintball, especially because they still can cause injury and blindness if you're not using good eye pro. So what we use are basic paintball masks. These are extremely important to protect your eyes. You want to get one that's rated for paintball. They're very, very sturdy, and the chances of getting an eye injury with your airsoft with one of these is pretty slim to none. Okay, so what we're using in particular is the KJ Works M9 model. This is a green gas powered airsoft pistol. Okay. Now the structure of this is metallic. I'm not 100% sure if it's a zinc oxide or aluminum but it is very heavy, very realistic feeling. Having carried one of these on the military base as well as in the civilian world, I can tell you that this feels very, very close to the real thing. Maybe not quite as heavy, but it does feel pretty realistic. This has a slide on it. Also has a orange tip, and that's to identify or designate that this is a training weapon and not a real firearm. Obviously, if you circumvent that and you paint it black, which unfortunately I've seen some foolish individuals do in the past, confiscated one off some teenagers. They had painted this black, so you couldn't tell the difference between this and a real gun. And I explained to them that that kind of foolishness could get them shot, obviously. So don't paint it black, just leave it alone. That's for your safety and for the people that you're training with, okay? Also, these come with magazines. Now, first of all, this is not a clip. I don't care what anybody's told you. This is not a clip. It's not a gun clip. It's just ignorance, okay? This is a magazine. The magazine will go into the magazine well of the firearm. Obviously, you can slide back, and bam. This has blowback action. These things come out at a very high velocity and they're very dangerous. So when you're using these and you're training, make sure you know what you're shooting at. Okay, number one, don't shoot your pets. I know that's tempting, but don't do it. Highly recommend that you not shoot animals with this. Okay, now when you're training with these, you can use these against other people, but again, we assume no liability for any injuries or anything like that. We always, wear, BDU or ACU type, clothing, kind of layered up a little bit, kind of takes the sting away. And also, we're wearing our eye probe, our face protection, to be more specific. This also covers the ears. You definitely want to protect your face area. If you get shot anywhere on your body with this, it will hurt. Let me promise you, and let me say again, it will hurt. Okay. Now, this is a green gas as opposed to a spring action. The spring action, airsoft pistols are cheaper. They're not near as powerful. They still sting. This is green gas, so you're gonna get you some of this. You can also go to Walmart and pick up some campers, the little campers tanks of propane. You're gonna need to get an adapter. You can order one from KJ Works or from some other company, and they'll give you a little bit of oil that you'll need to put into it, because this is kind of an oily gas. I don't know how else to describe it, but this gas lubricates the weapon. So propane will not lubricate the weapon, so you'll need to, in the adapter to the propane, you'll need to insert, a little bit of that oil per the directions. Now, when you're using the green gas, you can get this at usually paintball supply stores and different places. You can order it online, okay? Basically, you're going to take the tip, you're going to charge up the magazine. Obviously, don't overcharge it. Okay. You're going to place it into the Airsoft pistol, and basically, you're going to operate it just like you would any other firearm. Okay. Now, just for the sake of the video, I'm shooting from a kind of a compressed ready position right here. Very, very powerful. Very powerful. So as you can see, these things are not a joke. You get hit with this, it's going to hurt. However, it does make for some really good training. So let's talk about the training. Again, whenever you're going to do this type of airsoft training, you want a couple safety things. Make sure nobody's carrying any real firearms on them. We're kind of creatures of habit. They may be grabbing for their airsoft and pull out a real gun and shoot you dead. I've seen it happen. Law enforcement make these mistakes as much, if not more, than civilians, and military as well. This kind of stuff does happen, so you have to make sure that when you're training with airsoft, there are no concealed carry people in your group carrying a firearm. I don't care how much they think that it's important. They need to stow those weapons in their trunk, lock them up, don't bring them into the training environment. Okay. Number two is you want to make sure everybody knows how to operate their training weapons. And again, these are weapons. These do hurt, and they can cause injury. They'll definitely leave a mark. If you're bare armed and you get shot, it might even stick in your skin. So again, be careful, be prepared, and just make sure that you understand what you're working with. I would do a functions check on it and make sure it works. Make sure there's nothing going on that you need to be concerned about. Okay? So that's it. That's about all I'm going to talk about with this particular training thing. We're going to do some GoPro video soon of us doing some of this training, basically out at the park or whatever. Again, be careful where you're training at, because if you're brandishing these and you're running around the park, local deputy driving by might think you're in a gunfight. So obviously, if you're confronted, just set them down on the ground, keep your hands where they can see them so they don't lose their minds and shoot you. So again, this is another GoPro moment with GoPro Ninja Quest. Jeff Brown, we'll see you soon.